Yeah, we drive it all the time.
Go clear to the.
What's our concern with the danger though?
What is the danger?
Yeah, because it might be more of a Cody thing than me though, because if it's lines or paintings or.
No, it's not lined, it's not
Yeah, we know we
painted.
need to
And,
work
but
on
it
that.
is the way the asphalt has been laid, just in strips, a lot of it. And it will, and then they have come to the center, there was a high ridge, but someone went in and took the high ridge off, but now it is, if you have to get over there, it is, it's not even, it is not even down
They
there.
ground that ridge because the transition, if you
It
did
was
cross
high.
over, it was going to give you a bump, but
Right,
I don't see any problems on it since they did that and smoothed that over.
okay,
The,
it must just be us that live there, but,
the shoulders, I mean, the edge of the road don't have no white strip on it. You can't tell from the road and the ditch.
Right.
In foggy weather, same way as 40th out here on
Oh,
40,
there are
southeast
many.
40.
Yeah,
You know, they have that white strip you can, headlights pick up.
it's needed very much.
And the black is just, you fall off and there's
Yeah.
it's a drop off. I mean, it's
How
no,
much was it, isn't it like, wasn't it like $7,000 a mile to paint those?
white stripes.
Yeah, it's expensive.
I don't remember,
Oh
and
my
for a
gosh.
time, it was difficult to even get the paint.
Yeah, there for a while. It's a lot more expensive per person.
Is it
It's a
special?
special paint, they put glass bead and stuff in it to make it reflective. Because whenever we did Clem,
You know,
we found out it was cheaper to hire because our old paint was broke, you know. And, the paint alone is, a barrel of that paint was like $5,000 and I don't know if it'll do right out of mile.
That we know definitely, and it's on the list, Sue.
Yeah,
okay.
We've got a lot.
Yeah, well, if you, I sure would just drive down that with you in my car and you could see what we're talking about, because you know, you don't know where the center is anyway, so you just stay over as far as you can, meeting somebody, and it's, but
well,
it's not good.
nighttime and then you got that river down in the fog.
Yeah.
It is hard to tell where the shoulder is.
Yeah.
On that road.
It's, where it's a
Oh, that's
solid,
not her major complaint.
Oh.
Her complaint was about, hey, Wednesday or Thursday morning, you tell me what time they'll be at your house.
Wednesday,
What time?
what time anytime I'll be there. I'm up at 5, so you just come, tell me, give me a time.
I'll be there at 8.
8, I'll see you
Okay.
then.
Wednesday at 8.
Okay,
All right.
see you then, thank
All
you.
right.
See you soon.
Bye-bye. What's her last name?
I'm thinking maybe someone needs to check for you.
Oh.
I've drove it several times, and I can.
And the reason I was wondering how many paydays are left, because at the end of June, the report we got is that you're over 57% on your salary line, and we've got half a year left. And that's your biggest line.
And that's
You're
part
gonna
of,
be able to rein that in?
that's part of, well, we're working on it. Part of that is, and when we raise it, if we raise our salary, whereas what we raise the salary is to absorb, like I said, mentioned in the past, we pay for the school resource officers and that gets reimbursed. So they come out there, but the school's actually paying for them. But that comes out of my 57, out of my regular salary line item. And then that money comes back. And yes, it just goes to general fund, but it offsets my budget because they're not figured in
Do they
appropriately.
pay 100%,
80%.
80%
And that,
all year?
all year. They pay 80% of the year, because they do summer school, and they do things through the summer, so the school's arrangements are 80%. And then,
Well, wait, you're saying they're gonna reimburse, but that's gonna go to the general fund, won't it?
that's what I'm saying, but that comes up, that shows out my budget, so my budget needs to be offset, because that doesn't get just reimbursed back to children.
Yeah, but you
Sure.
just have to take that into consideration. I mean, you know,
So you want me not have school resource officers?
Pardon?
You want me not have school resource officers, because we have to
No.
terminate people,
No,
or we have to raise to absorb that on the
But-
backside.
you just hired 2 new people since you took office, is what Dina told us?
One of them was school resource. So me and Sheriff Groves, back in November when I won, he had one opening, one patrol opening, and the school resource officer in Riverton was unfilled. And so we spoke and he said he didn't feel appropriate for him to hire anybody with me coming in January. So we hired the school resource officer for Riverton and filled that position. than the empty patrol position.
So you, I just don't know how you hire people when you know your budget's not gonna,
Well, I didn't know that at the time, that's why we're fixing now, that's why we're in here now fixing what we did. We was off numbers last year.
yeah, I think coming in January, I would've let it ride a little bit before I go to an expense of $40,000-$50,000.
So we also have to take into consideration for next year on budget. We got the overtime for the FBI position, which is funded by the FBI, but that the money has to be expended, so that will also be offset. So in these raises that I gave you, all that, and I know we've cut that overtime, but part of that is all that reimbursed money that will be set back into, so.
You gotta pay it, but it's reimbursed back, it goes to the
Right.
general
It
fund.
goes to
Doesn't
general
go in your line
fund,
item.
so it counts against, so if you took that 57%, for example, some of it is reimbursed, but it doesn't show
No,
that
but
way.
you can't look at that reimbursement, I mean, you have to look at what you are going to come, what's gonna come out of your budget.
Right, that's what
You
we're,
can't, you know it's not
One,
coming
two,
in,
one,
you
two.
just have to look at what's going
I
out.
think it was 12,
and that's
12.
where,
429.
in the past, when we worked budget before, we adjust that to where we can exceed that, different budgets that I worked on before. We make those adjustments to where we can come back
Well,
and so,
none of those reimbursements come back into your, so that's what you need to, how you need to figure your budget.
okay, and then that's how I figured it, so you know what I need then. So my budget's figured to pay for the school resource officer, so I've given you my budget then at what you know I need. I'm not expecting that money to come back in, but I'm giving you my budget saying what I need to be able to pay for that, pay for the services that we have added services. We've rearranged people that we have within the
You
department.
can't budget for that coming back in anyway, because it doesn't come back to your department,
Correct,
it goes into general fund.
correct.
Right, so your proposal is those positions, knowing that reimbursement's not coming back to your line item.
Right, I just raised on the front end because that money goes back to general fund, so it's funded. And it's not funded by the sheriff's office, it's funded by, or excuse me, yeah, it's not funded by the sheriff, it's funded, like say, those
You have to.
those
budget that
pays,
fund.
like say the FBI will be paying that overtime, and then, the school pays for those.
You have to find something that you know you're not gonna get reimbursed for, basically.
He doesn't, the county does.
The county does, yeah, but I mean, his department,
Right.
Well, his budget, it comes out of his budget.
yeah, but it don't get put back in it.
Right, but that's just the process. I
So
mean,
we raise the budget to absorb that, knowing that that's coming back in on that backside, so the county's not out the money. But my budget is there to set, and I don't spend that budget money, like, it's not, you raise my budget line item for these two school resource officers for, you know, I'm just throwing a number out there real quick, see, it's 60,000 approximately. It's actually a little over that, what the school gives us. And so you raise me 60,000, doesn't mean I take that 60,000, spend it somewhere else, it's just now I know my salaries are set, and we don't have to worry about, we're not in this position.
It's the same as, you know, like the commissary, that's not supposed to, that goes to the general. He has to appropriate money to purchase those items, but then it goes. Which, we had a conversation with our auditor today, and pretty much saying that commissary account's a mess. It's,
Yeah, we're working on correcting that and fixing things up with him on that and moving the monies and stuff like that, we're working on that.
so, on the accounts that you closed,
I
you haven't
I didn't close
closed
any
it?
accounts.
Okay, you haven't closed any accounts,
No,
okay.
no, this guy hasn't closed any accounts.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, those numbers that we were looking at, your request was basically about 747,000 increase, and we're looking at somewhere around 368 with the salary line item increase of 100,000. The scanner, just leave that out entirely until we see at least that you can see if there are any grant opportunities on that. We feel like we have to leave that 73,680 in for the software. looking at leaving the building maintenance the same, which you'd ask for another 50 there. Not to say that these aren't worthy items. Funding.
Right, I understand. So building maintenance, part of that was to do those upgrades, but part of it, if you look at my building maintenance, as I explained, an aging building, and I know we have the sales tax, so if we're willing to use that for cities upgrades, or not necessarily even upgrades, but some of the stuff that's starting to go out. And this year, you know, we have put a lot of money into like the elevator and the fire system, there's a lot of stuff that's going out, so, even taking the carpeting out of that, I can see that line item needing at least a slight increase unless we feel that the sales tax money is there that can, and if we're good there, then I'm good with 50,000.
Well, we can't count on that sales tax. We've got
Right.
several entities that are pulling for it. and
I know,
They
and
don't,
that's,
or the
So-
health department's
so
way
even
worse
though-
condition.
even though we have that, I put the carpet on there, that 50,000 still, we're, I think, I looked, yesterday, and I think we're already, we're almost 90% spent in that building maintenance line item already this year.
Somebody better put the brakes on
Yeah.
it.
There's stuff we can't, I mean, we have to house the inmates, we have to take care, we have to have fire suppression. Those systems there, it's not, we're not buying new stuff, we're not adding, we're trying to maintain, maintain the building and get it brought up to specs of some
Didn't
stuff
you
that
do
probably,
new HVAC systems recently and roof?
I think that was done with ARPA, I believe. Some
We
of it.
did, we did some roof repair and we
The
did,
fact is, it was done.
yeah, a couple air conditioners. I don't even know how many systems are in that. There's quite a few.
And security things.
Thank you.
So on, like, did you get some information?
That's right.
Thank you, Carla. Like on carpeting, would you really go back with carpeting?
No, we would probably go back to, we've talked about going to more of a, either a laminate or some sort of flooring, more, real
How
mop
would
and people going in.
How would a finished cement? But, I mean, they look nice, but as far as cost,
Yeah, I don't, I mean, we would explore all those options, because
does that have to be a cement floor, wouldn't it? Probably.
I don't know what's under it for sure.
No, Corey? No.
But we would explore all those options, but the carpeting as it isn't good. You know, in offices, carpet works all right because you don't have the heavy traffic and muddy boots in and out and you know, just, you know, there's a lot of foot traffic on that stuff, so. And so we would explore options, but carpeting probably would not be what we would want to go back with.
To me, that's cosmetic. I mean, I know it looks nice, newer floor, but not a necessity unless it's ripped up and causing the hazard.
Right.
What else was I looking at? Those primarily the only changes?
The only thing we cut was the building maintenance, we cut the body scanner, and we cut the
Salary.
202,000 out of salaries. Everything else was fully funded. Everything was fully funded in your proposal, except for those three items.
Okay.
The body scanner, the building maintenance, and then the increase in your salaries.
It's still a bite, $368,467.
So my only request would be on the salary line item to add, as I said, for the school, the positions, we talked about the 17,000 we know we get from the FBI, and the school resource officer position, checks that would come in, which are typically just right at, get my calculator pulled up here. $19,000 to $20,000 per reimbursement.
You're justifying that because you generate it, right?
So there's a, not that, we pay for those positions too, and they're not funded out of, I mean, they're there, but they never was increased to absorb that. And so, I guess you could say that, but I'm requesting that because the schools pay $76,000 a year in
But we've known that from the beginning days of resource officers. We know how that works. And we've always funded knowing that that money's not gonna come back into the department.
But we're also in positions where we're at now, so that's why, I'm trying to fix a problem that we know was there. If we wanna keep the problem for another year, I'm fine with that. But I'm trying to fix a problem right now by, so we're not sitting here next year going, well, we're over by 57%, we're over by this much percent. Instead, we know right now, we just fix the problem right here, and we go, okay, now it's fixed. So, it would be 76,000 plus. And again, this, understanding how this works, that'd be 93,000. Understanding that this isn't $93,000 that I spend somewhere else, it's $93,000 that's.
Out of your budget, it's not being, it's coming back into the general fund.
Right. Now, we do have grants also. We got $10,000 from traffic safety that will increase next year, but those checks are written back as reimbursements too. So when we pay that money out in overtime, like we just did one.
Yeah, some are, some
Saturday.
aren't, and that's definitely not one. I'm gonna ask for a 5-minute executive session, non-elected personnel with our sheriff. Can we do that? One. All those in favor? Aye. Motion carried unanimously.